Well, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you choose to join in the My Love of Golf podcast. We thank you for joining in once again. It's that time of the week where I sit together with the great men that form the Mlog triumvirate. Three grown men sitting here talking about golf on a weekly basis. We enjoy it. We hope you do too. We know some of you do because you give us some messages, and some of you do, especially if you've been following along Magic Mike's Market. He's coming off the back of a great run. He's got sort of a week off. He's got one to tip for us in the UK, but he's got a week off the PGA Tour. Magic Mike, I'll go to you first. How are you, son?
Very well, mate. Very well. It's been a beautiful day in Melbourne. I actually got outside for a couple of hours, went for a walk. It was fantastic.
Okay. And along the river there, down the Maribyrnong side?
Followed the sunny Maribyrnong River all the way up to, I think it's Steeles Creek. Followed the creek all the way up. Spent a couple of hours this afternoon away from the laptop, which was fantastic.
Northern suburbs up and about, the west side posse in full song this weekend.
The Maribyrnong River is busier than Burke Street. I actually stay well clear of it. It's literally, there'd be thousands and thousands walking it every day.
It's all the Doggies fans. The Doggies fans out.
Well, there are a few Doggies fans around. It's good to see them wearing their hats. I obviously wasn't wearing any beanies or anything. It's a bit too warm today to have my Doggies beanie on. But yeah, I got out today. I definitely didn't get out Sunday after the game. I was extremely hungover, but it was good to be out today.
Did you get on it? Did you have a few watching the footy? Did you?
To get through that game, yeah, I needed more than a few, and I ended up sitting there for a little while after, just enjoying it. It was great.
Was it a point in it?
1 point. Yeah, I don't need those games. I've had enough close finals in my Western Bulldogs history. I don't need any more. It's good to be on the right side of it, though.
Well, a great weekend for you. A couple of solid results in the Tipster-Rooney, and a solid result for the Western Bulldogs. Few good golfers in the Western Bulldogs. That's why they might be my September team, the Doggies. I might have to jump on board with you, Mike, and support you and support the Doggies. A few good young boys in there. The young fellow Cordy, Zane Cordy. He's a fine young fella.
Yep.
Fine young fella. Loves his golf. He was one of the ones that ran in last year when they were going to the hub and said, "Quick, set of those, please, and put them in a bag. They're on a plane. We're going to the Gold Coast."
That's it.
I've got this is going in almost before the footy boots.
Well, they were at RACB for 3 months or something.
Sorry, Zane. I hope I didn't drop you anything there. You're a fine young man. Good luck for the rest of the finals, and look forward to getting you back in for a hit of golf. Rocket, let's we're not going to stop this tradition. How are you? I'm laughing because I'm looking at your backdrop there, Rocket. If we get around to making these podcasts and turning them into some video, which some people have asked, I am trying to get this YouTube thing happening. You may have seen the Dom as a Party backyard Zoom chipping interview / lesson. If you haven't seen that, and you want some YouTube laughs, because it's me chipping in the backyard, and there's always a laugh when you're watching me chip. The first one that I hit cold, mind you, I was making excuses already, but I was cold. I did scun it into the back fence. If you want to laugh, go and watch me and Dom chat. Dom's a great man, Lucas Herbert's coach, PGA Tour coach, and giving me a lesson in the backyard. Rocket, how are you? Welcome.
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. Very good.
Sorry, before I digressed there and talked about myself, and I was going to talk about you and your background. What have you got there? What's in the background?
It's one of the Sith Lords.
Oh, right. He's got a week off, hasn't he? Hasn't he got a week off?
Oh, they've got to come out, a week off, but they've got to come out and at least show their presence and the dark force. You've got to feel it. You've got to feel it.
The Sith Lords of Pontevedra.
Yeah, exactly.
How did so? Let's get
drawbridges up.
Before we get talking about the week that's ahead of us, and we've got a big one, one of your favourites, Rocket, the BMW at Wentworth in the UK. Looking forward to seeing that course. It's a great course. Weather's looking pretty decent. A lot could change. Before we get into talking about that, let's wrap up last weekend's golf. It was the climax for the European and American Solheim Cup. The girls going head to head, loved it, but also it was the Tour Club champion, Net Club champion, Coca-Cola Club, whatever way you look at it or call it. Who won?
Not the fans.
Not the fans.
Not watching the net. That was boring. I think I watched an hour.
In your view, who won? Who's the winner?
The women. The Solheim Cup.
No, we'll talk about the women. We'll just talking about the men. Who won? Who's the winner?
Patrick Cantlay.
Patrick Cantlay.
No,
Yeah.
John Rahm.
That's right.
No, I think didn't he tie with Kevin Na?
Who's the winner? The bloke who takes home $15 million is the winner.
Yes, no, you're exactly right. The bloke who went pockets of 15 mil.
Or the person who got the most official world golf ranking points.
Yeah, well, that's it. That was John. It's funny because I know that it's 15 mil for first, but when they kept talking about, this is a $10 million difference to run second, I thought surely second's not getting $5 million. Then I looked it up. It's like, yep, second is $5 million. I think today we were looking at the majors, what you get paid to win a major. It's 2.5 times what you get paid to win the Masters to finish second in the Tour Championship. That's ridiculous.
We've laughed about this many times before, but it's just like club golf, mate. Yeah, the net winner always gets a better trophy than the stroke winner.
True.
Yeah, the net, I'm going to get like $100 voucher, gross, hot dot.
Box of hot dots.
No, not a box of hot dots.
A hot dot.
Hot dot.
And you can't swap it. You can't take it into the pro shop and swap. He said, "No, mate, sorry, don't stock the hot dots. They buy them cheap down at the Drum and Golf."
The ones remember when they used to have them in the little plastic containers? You flip the lid. Nah, the old school box of hot dot, just a hot dot.
It was it was as close as it was late. I wouldn't say it was thrilling. There's really only 2 guys in it for most of the weekend, and like you said, the other scoreboard was a much more interesting scoreboard.
Kevin Na.
That's it.
Did you watch Kevin Na much? Did you see much of Kevin?
He finished well. I know the last round he finished well, and he made a really good putt on 18, and that pretty much sealed him up to his overall his outright third in the overall. I'm getting my scoreboards mixed up, but he would have been T1 on the other scoreboard. So
he was once the whipping boy of this podcast. At once upon a time, was Kevin Na, Mike, just to bring you up to speed. And I guess he redeemed himself a little bit, Rocket. When did Kevin start to redeem himself in our eyes? Because we were into him for his slow play and all the funny little antics and all that, the Kevin Na-isms. But when did he start to redeem himself?
Well, he came out publicly and talked about the problems that he had, and he said he doesn't like playing that slow. And then over the last 3 years, at least 2 years, he's made a massive difference in terms of his speed of play. And then he's gone and done a few of the podcasts, and you listen to him and he talks even about it in terms of how it was just, he didn't want to do it like that. It was just, he almost had this like mental tick.
Yeah.
And so, he's not deliberately being a till, but he actually worked on it, and, he's reaping the rewards. He's won twice, 3 times in the last 2 years? Yeah.
Third in the FedEx playoffs. How much did he win, Mike?
I do remember whatever it was that he was putting for to get his outright third, because Justin Thomas might have bogeyed 18 and Kevin Na birdied. So it went from I think it was either 1 or 2 shot swing at least. So he got his outright, but I reckon it was might have been a $500,000 or $600,000 difference for him in the putting for one putt.
So he only wins like $3 million, something like that.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in that 2 mil.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Now 24th in the world.
Tough for Justin Thomas, just to miss out on $400,000. Feeling for him.
Yeah, it's funny. He was the one he's the person that I liked this week to go really, really well. I thought he might make a bit of a charge, and he kept threatening on and off over the first couple of rounds. But final round 7, he's not going to get it done when everyone else is shooting, 3, 4, 5 under, and you're coming in already with a handicap. You're not going to do it with an even par round.
Look, it does show that the cream is there at the end. If you look at the leaderboard there, Rocket, I know you'll have your own opinions, but Cantlay on fire, had the start. Fair enough. He had to play good to maintain. He had to play well enough to maintain his advantage position. But Rahm, we always talk about him, especially you, Mike. You sometimes don't even bet. He's unbackable, so he's that good. Got the OWGR points. Is he number 1 in the world still now? Is that
number 1? Yeah,
and bit of a lead now. He's actually 2 points clear of DJ and Colin, so a bit of separation.
How long can a 2-point in OWGR status? How long can 2 points sort of give you that sort of buffer for?
It depends on what the guys behind him are defending, and then depends on what he's defending as well.
Yeah.
In some instances, it could last 4 months. In other instances, it could last 4 days.
He's clearly, when we talk about he's unbackable just because of the price in a big field. You look at a big field at 120, 130 guys. You're not taking the market odds that they're putting up. But you look at a week like this where there's 20 people or 20, well, it's ended up being the full 30 actually. So 30 players and he's paying, 450, I think he was outright. That's not bad odds. You take that. That's worth looking at. And he's performing better. Like, he's number 1 in the world for a reason. He's easily the best player in the world. He can quite often have a number 1 who's not the best player in the world, but he is. And he's gone down by 1 shot. And I was looking at his strokes gained a bit today. Since the round 1 of the BMW, so 2 weeks ago, he's only had 1 round where he's had strokes gained negative to the field, and that was round 4 of the Tour Championship. Every other round he's gained strokes on the field in putting, and he's missed by a shot, and that was the 1 round where he's given away nearly 1.2 shots to the field, whereas someone like Paddy Cantlay has had some of the best putting he's ever put together in his life, including round 3 this week where he's picked up 3 on the field. So it's just a game of inches at times, and he's made money out of it.
That's 2 events that John Rahm has led and not finished first this year.
Yeah. Well, he the one where Patrick won as well. The Memorial. I was thinking of that as well. That's why I went to look back at it, because I was thinking to myself, Patrick Cantlay's got the win at the Memorial because John Rahm's had to withdraw with COVID. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that actually made a difference to their final standings, whether it actually is, a $10 million COVID issue, because would they have actually started 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 instead of the way they lined up? But the points didn't end up working out to give it that much of a good story, but it was still would have made a difference, because the reason Cantlay's had the separation is because last week and the week prior in the FedEx finals, they double the points for what you're earning in your points. So it's a bit weird. It just puts so much, of a microscope on those last three tournaments. Now he's gone to, what was it, a 6 or 7 hole putt off or playoff with Bryson the week before. That goes the other way. He certainly doesn't start in the first seed. He's had a win that Rahm definitely would have had at Memorial. Either of those things change, certainly the 1 shot that he's won this week is wiped out and Rahm wins. So it's just unbelievable that it could have gone either way. And I think someone else said it today, that we talk about Rahm as being a bit stiff, but he's probably still won more money than I'd know what to do with this year. So it's not really that heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be on the corner just...
No.
With a tin going, got some spare shekels.
2-time positive COVID, help me out.
I need some money for a vaccine.
Now, another topic that, let's talk about prize money. It's not lost on us, but the PIP When does that get called?
Not going to be called. They're not announcing who's
Who
getting
cares?
anything.
They're not. All right. They're just going to.
It'll just go in the bank.
This is the PIP is probably half the other problem with the whole Bryson thing too.
Yeah,
100%. It is. Yeah, his advisors aren't advising him the right way to go about earning the PIP status, but certainly they probably didn't write the criteria strong enough. Like a lot of
think of the money,
bonus programs.
The money he's earning, he should really go and get Sergio's advisors for a bit of reclamation. Maybe they're still on retainer with JT. Maybe he's got to get him for the 2021-22 season.
Now, speaking of Sergio, does Sergio go across? I don't know the field for Wentworth, but will Sergio be there at Wentworth?
I believe he is. I was looking at it just this afternoon, looking at the field, and there's a lot of people that have gone over.
He should be. He's a regular.
Is Sergio still fighting for? Is he a lock for? No, he's fighting for one of the captain's picks.
I wouldn't pick him.
You wouldn't pick Sergio?
No.
Is there a Ryder Cup without Sergio?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, okay.
He's on the points on the Euro points. He's sitting 18th and he's not qualified, and on the World points he's sitting 10th and he's not qualified. So if he's getting in, he needs to get in as a pick. I think, to be honest, I think he probably gets in because he's the first person out, but you just don't know. He's there and he's not playing this week. When I've just
Whistling
quickly
Straits is not a course that you should play him on.
And that's the part they've got to weigh up who they're taking and why they're taking him and do they fit. And we know, even just looking at I know we're going to talk about the ladies later, but if you look at the Solheim, they've gone with a plan, and you would think that the Euro team will do the same for the Ryder Cup.
So let's finish on. So they don't advise who you get to PIP. They just send the 40 million to the bank.
Paul Casey's qualified.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it now. So you've got Rahm, The Hare, Tyrrell, Rawls, Victor, Paul Casey qualified. And then in 7th, 8th and 9th, you've got Fitzmagic, Westy and Shane Lowry. And then, so they look like they must include this week then.
Two to go.
And then they've got captain's picks for the other three, which then includes Burnt Cheeseburger, Victor Perez, Sergio, Bobby Mack.
Henrik.
I still think you got to pick Henrik.
Well, Henrik's up to. I was looking at this before because I thought, Henrik's really going to battle, but on the world points, he's actually sitting at 24th. And 24 is not miles away. I mean, around that is Matt Wallace, Rasmus Højgaard, Dietrich's 18, Justin Rose 16, Migliozzi 15, Poulter 14, Bobby Mack 13. So there's a lot of guys there that they could actually pluck someone a little bit deeper and it wouldn't completely shock me. I don't think Bobby Mack gets in. But
even Noren's been playing all right the last month or so. Going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
I reckon it comes down to Sergio, Noren, Stenson and Poulter.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's going to miss out of those four.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, yeah. And you look, I think Sergio's in. I think Sergio's right on the border. I can't see him not getting in. Poulter, I can see getting a pick.
Sergio, so if it's then Noren sits on the bench and Sergio, Stenson and Poulter.
And that's a tricky part. Then they want to sit there and say, right, do we want a younger player? We got too many more seasoned guys. Do we want this? Do we want that? And I think that's where you might find someone who will sit there and say, Poulter's got to go, but they might go, you know what? We're going to pass on him. We'll make him an assistant.
And Padraigs is the kind of guy that would make that call too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't think Stricker will, but I think he would. But for the PIP, no, nothing. They won't announce it, and the rationale behind it was it wasn't supposed to be a public knowledge payment. It was only ever made public because of an article that was written that had inside info. And then it became common knowledge.
The email about it accidentally got sent to some of the wrong players.
There you go. So effectively, they basically said, well, it was never supposed to be public knowledge, so we won't be sharing who gets paid what.
Ironically, Mike, just for the listeners' benefit, we were chatting a little bit today, and I said to Mike, being the stats guru, and he pretty much had this information at the tip of his tongue and the press of 3 keystrokes, to tally up the women's majors and the men's majors, including, to make it 5, because women have 5 majors, as you know, including the unofficial major, the Players' Championship. So tally up the majors and the players and the women's majors in terms of prize money. And ironically, Mike, you know what the difference in the prize money is? The value of the pip.
Is it?
Not that means anything, but $62 million in prize money for the 4 majors plus the unofficial major.
Yeah.
For the men, and $23 million total prize purse for the women in their 5 majors. $40 million difference.
Plus 15 million FEDEX Cup.
Plus 15, well, not including.
No, that's just the winner. I don't even know what the rest of I don't even know what the purse is for the 30.
The whole purse, because you've got all the tiers, I think it ends up being like nearly an $80 million week.
There you go. That's chump change.
That is a lot.
Wouldn't get out of bed for that.
That is a lot of money. And the reason why it got me thinking about that, and obviously talking about prize money, men versus women, it's not a new topic. It gets talked about a lot. I think it's time that the game starts to put a little bit more pressure back towards evening up the prize money. Now, I know there's a lot of factors. There's TV, there's sponsorship, all that sort of stuff. But the equality between the men's and the women's, and I make the point based on the fact of coming off watching the Solheim Cup just on the weekend, having been to the last Solheim Cup, and just weighing up the enjoyment that I had watching, those 2 events, one being there and one watching it over the weekend, and watching the women play. It was great. And I just sat back and think, I wonder what the difference is, because I didn't know. You know that it's more for the men and less for them. I wonder what the difference is, and it's just staggering.
It is.
Just even looking at that, it's just staggering.
It's there's lots of factors, right? The women's game's come a lot in the last sort of 10, 15 years. It's come a long way compared to where it was 20 years ago, and there's plenty of players to thank for that. PGA Tour doesn't do them any favours because they saturate the market, and then they also then vacuum up as many of the big sponsors as humanly possible, and that's there's a tiger factor to that. So potentially, does some of these things level out? And there's a little bit where it's incumbent on maybe the LPGA commissioner and also the players to just maybe do things that the Sith Lords don't want to do, to give a different view or different lens of content. Here's the thing: is that what's the one thing that attracts me to watching the women play more than anything? Them playing classic courses, because of just purely the distance they hit it, the way they play it how it's supposed to be. And I love seeing old courses. So, and for the hardcore fans, that's actually quite entertaining. So why don't they go and target some of these tour events? They don't have to build the same sort of infrastructure as the PGA Tour. So all of a sudden, can they draw a few away from the Sith Lords? Maybe the LPGA could be the Resistance, led by Princess Leia. Maybe that's the new logo with the buns on either side, and they draw away. It's the positive force versus the dark force. It's something like that. Playing these classic courses. Maybe it's more of the other behind the scenes stuff. And the good thing is a lot of the new golf media are helping sort of lift that up as well. You got to give a shout out to the guys from No Laying Up. They actually put more of a focus on the LPGA Tour in terms of them actually going to their events, more so than the actual men's events. And they do a lot with the LPGA in terms of behind the scenes and interviews with a lot of players. So you got to give them props, because they're trying to help lift up the game and bring it to the golf nerds like myself, and show the personalities of all these other players out there to try and help lift the game up. So I think even the LPG, the tour themselves, need to do that as well. Stop playing it at some of these. There are some garbage courses. There's an opportunity. Can they get to some of these more classic courses where it's not just the women playing, but it's also then the stage that they play on? Because we're subjected to pillow fighting every week for 50-something weeks of a year, except for majors.
I just think it's also incumbent on the people writing the marketing checks in these big organisations that write them need to have a look at themselves and really, I'm sure that they're applying all levels of inclusivity policies and procedures in their workplaces. Apply it to their marketing spend as well, and they won't lose any bang for their buck. They'll probably lift.
That's a very good point.
In terms of profile, in terms of what they can do and leverage that in a marketing sense socially, and the whole level of opportunities, because it's just not right. It's just not right. And
I listened to it's Mike Wan. He was the head of the LPGA. Now he's the USGA head of USGA, because he was the No Laying Up guys interviewed him only a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure he talked about. He referenced the tennis tours, because the tennis tours, obviously, I'm pretty sure that even the Aussie Open, it's men's and women's same prize money.
And Mike's the commissioner of the LPGA. He's the 8th commissioner.
No, so I think he started now.
Yeah, he's left and gone to USGA though.
Has he? I thought he only just took the job.
No, he just came in. He just came in as.
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Mike Wan named USGA CEO. We'll take the helm in summer of 2021. There you go. You're right. Yeah, but Brockett, you're right. He was only in the LPGA job for a little while.
Yeah, because I remember he
was like the saviour. He was going to be the guy.
That's it. Yeah, and he did a lot of good things in bits and pieces. But yeah, he's now gone to that role.
Yep.
And I'm sure he talked about one of the key things that he wants to look at is how do we have the same prize money in a major? Men's and women's shouldn't be any different, same as it is in tennis. It's just they got to find a path to get there.
I think the players, they're not going to do anything. I'm living in fantasy land if I think that the upper echelon of the players, could get together and say, you know what, let's hive off some of this ridiculous 40 million that you're doling out to people like Bryson and Brooks and whoever else. And
like you said, it's, at the end of the day, they're not going to. It's not up to them. They don't care. It's up to the sponsors. It's up to the people paying the money in the first place. It's up to whether it's FedEx or Titleist, or TaylorMade, Callaway, whoever it is. It's about where they're investing their money.
The thing that I don't know, and I only know a little bit of some of the viewership in Australian golf and on Foxtel. I don't think their numbers watching the golf tournaments on Foxtel are going through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a sponsor here in Australia looking to invest your dollars sponsorship-wise on a TV broadcast, it's getting to the point where you're really looking at how you're spending it. If you're spending it there, are you getting a bang for your buck because the eyeballs aren't there? Mm-hmm. Now, is that the same in the States? I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions, but with the new media that is about like No Laying Up and like the big podcasts and like the YouTube outlets and all of the people out there, I reckon there's pressure on these big media TV organisations who are sucking, the life out of these sponsorship dollars, which ultimately comes from the people spending it that could be spending it on the women's game, which I think is, in many aspects, no less a product. Absolutely not. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I quite happily sit there and watch women's golf. I watched probably as much of the Solheim Cup this week, maybe a little bit more than I did the Tour Championship. So,
as I said, I watched 1 hour of the Tour Championship. It's garbage format. I watched the Solheim Cup.
How good was the ping plate?
It's good. There's some yeah, and look, as Rocket and I said today, all power to you, Ross, because you were the man that believed. You were the only one taking the Euros, and you went the champion team, and we went the team of champions.
Hold on. If we do turn this into video, if I work out how to turn it, I'm going to do something for the video. Hold on, mate. Hold on. There we go. It was good. It was great to see Mel Reid do that, and then it was great to see Ian Poulter put up the post, or whoever put it up. I don't know whoever made that, but who made that image of Ian Poulter and then Mel Reid both giving it these chest slaps on the chest. It was great. But yeah, you're right.
Actually, talking about people supporting it before I forget, Bubba.
Yeah.
Props to Bubba.
Went there under his own steam. Did he stay the whole duration? Was he there for the whole? I think so.
The whole shebang?
Yeah.
Who sponsors Bubba?
Ping.
Yeah, funny about that. The Ping plate. Did you like that? Has anyone else called it the Ping plate, Rocket? Has all the other podcasts that you listen to, has anyone come out with the
Ping plate?
The Ping plate?
I don't get it.
Ping.
Carsten Solheim. Solheim Cup.
One.
Solheim Cup. Carsten Solheim.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm only saying that. I'm only making fun of Bubba. I think it was excellent that he was there. I've got no idea whether they're still tipping in ABA money to it, but yeah, I thought it was excellent that he was there.
Put it this way, regardless of whether they paid for his flights or whatever it is, doesn't matter. He's still taking time out of – he's not playing, he's not going to earn any money, and he's away from his family for, 4 or 5 days.
Yep.
The interview he did on day one when he talked about it, I do take the mickey out of the boy from time to time, but got to give him props. He's a supporter.
Yeah.
And not just taking a photo and posting it on Instagram.
Yeah.
He actually turned up in real life.
Okay. Was that a little dig at Ian Poulter or?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
If there's one thing I'm missing at the moment by not being on the socials is Mr. Poulter.
You didn't see, so you haven't seen that picture. I thought you were having a little.
I told you. I have no idea. What am I, 3 weeks in now?
Yeah, okay. How are you feeling? Is everything okay?
I'm fine. Do
you need to have a chat?
I have no idea what's going on in the world.
We need to have a lie down, have a session.
What do you do? What do you do all day?
Yeah, far out.
I've read a book.
Oh, geez.
I get YouTube. I've got all my little subscriptions for all the little channels that I watch.
Yeah.
So I was watching one tonight on Zero Inbox on Gmail. Bit of a productivity tool, Watch some NFL stuff. NFL season starts soon.
That's it. I was just saying NFL starts soon, yeah. Is it this week? It's this week.
Yes.
Mike, before you joined us, we used to have a segment in maybe the 2 or 3 weeks where we actually tried to have a run sheet, proper segments. We had a
structure, and I felt really, really claustrophobic.
It took me 6 weeks to work out what the structure was, but there was one part that was Rocket's rabbit hole.
Yep.
And Rocket would bring something from the left field, and I was just wondering, as you said, the YouTube there. How is the what's your favorite YouTuber's name? The big cheese or the big Z or what's it?
YBS.
YBS, sorry. The big cheese. YBS. There you go.
Youngbloods. No, that's good.
How is he going?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Has COVID affected the YBS?
No, he's in the far northwest of bloody Western Australia.
Okay. Diving for crays.
Spearing
wrangling sharks
stuff
with his bare hands.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's another story. The Solheim Cup. It was great. Europe, yes, I was right. I went with Europe. Partly, mainly a heart sort of felt sort of plea, but I think in looking at some of the girls playing, they were equal to anything up there. It was probably just the home team, home ground advantage that you might tip it the other way, but some of those girls have been playing great, and that was that first session that really did set them up. And USA did
first day. Well, that first day they sat the rookies pretty much the first day, and the people that brought them back from the brink were
the rookies.
Kupcho and Salah, they were the saviours when it came to the foursomes and the four balls, and then delivering again in singles.
The first day Europe got up to a good start. Then America clawed them back in the second day, but then it was pretty even in the singles. But really, the damage was done that first day. And I guess that last couple of matches, last match on the last day, that was a bit of a pivotal one as well, where I think Europe got there's one where they got a half. I think Mel Reid and who was she playing with in the? I haven't got it here in front, but
in the singles.
No, not in the singles. It was in the last round, the last session of the second last day. Sorry, Mel Reid. They were one down. They were one
Leona
down.
Maguire.
Yeah, Leona Maguire. That's right. So they lost the 17th to go one down. The American girl chipped it in from the fringe, and then I went to bed. It must have been 3 or 4 o'clock or something like that by that stage, and then they won that last hole to halve that match. So I think that was pretty pivotal.
Yeah, that was
pivotal.
Cup, they played Cup show and so.
Yep.
That's it. And the Cup show, she was pretty good. She was great. But anyway, Europe got the win. Beanie, Captain Beanie. She lives down there at North Berwick, and she's got this beautiful house just basically on the 18th tee, looking across the first and the 17th green at North Berwick out to the Firth of Forth, looking all the way across to St Andrews, just there at the 18th tee North Berwick. And Beanie, I salute you. Well done. She's a great captain.
Great win.
Actually, I got it wrong. Cup show and Sala lost on the singles, but it was there playing the foursomes and four balls. Brought them back because, the Saturday foursomes. It was funny. You see the first 9 holes. I thought the US were just going to trample all over Europe, and then I went to bed at, I don't know, it was like 1:30 or something like that, and then you see the foursomes. Then they still had another 5 or 6 holes to go, and you turn it back on. And you're like, oh my God, 3.5 to a half. Just absolutely just crushed them. The only match I thought, then the US aren't going to win was the quarter one. They were playing terrible.
Yeah, they were. And that was probably the one that they probably would have thought before they went out. This is the bank. This is the one we can't lose. But yeah, no, it was a solid win. And like we said before, I think they came with the plan. They didn't have all the stars, but they played extremely well as a team. And Leona Maguire was unbelievable. And I can see that the Ryder Cup, the Euros are going to have a plan. They're going to try and do what they did last time and just make sure that everyone's in the team and we're part of a team, and that's how we're going to work this.
Get the right personalities, get the right people playing with each other.
Yeah.
Dominate in the foursomes, hang on in the four balls, and then just make sure you got a lead coming into the singles.
How far many more sleeps to the Ryder Cup?
It's a couple of weeks. It doesn't start to the 24th.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked about this, I reckon you said it was the last week of September.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 24th.
Can't wait.
It's going to be interesting because you've got Whistling Straits. It's a long hitters course.
So Whistling Straits is west coast side. So does that be better for us time zone?
No,
or the other side?
It's borderline because it's up the middle.
Okay.
It's Wisconsin, right on the coast.
Okay. So it's going to be early start.
Yeah, funny one.
Yep.
So will it be sort of the same time frame as what the Solheim Cup was just on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Okay. So we'll get a good look at it in sort of normal no-night times.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of this one.
I was going to say normal for you, not for me. I'd be well and truly dead. I much prefer. Right, we're getting up at 4 o'clock to watch this. It's Masters Sunday.
Yeah, this one can have eyes like piss holes in the snow.
Yeah, this lockdown is not good for we've got the open swing circadian rhythm. The lockdown circadian rhythm's got me way out of whack. I'll tell you that much. All right, guys. Anything else on the golfing radar? So we've got the Wentworth this week. What's happening there?
This week, yeah, Wentworth this week, and it's there's a few people going over that I was very surprised. Billy Horschel's jumped straight on a plane, so he's going over there. I think he I mean, the only reason I could see him getting over there, well, sorry, there's probably two. One is he's like, there's no way I'm playing Ryder Cup, so I'm going to go over and play this event. Or I really want to play Ryder Cup, so I'm going over to play this event and try and get in.
Well,
I don't know where he sits.
If you go over there and – well, you think the Ryder Cup's not till the 24th. If you go over there and win, because it's a week off here.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can finish in the top 5 over there, travel and finish in the top 5, does Mr. Stricker all of a sudden, take notice? It's worth the risk.
Oh, absolutely. You can obviously – it's worth the risk, and with
Get to see him toss his potter around or something like that.
Yeah. But now the field's pretty good. Victor Hovland, Shane Lowry, Tyrrell, Alex Noren, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Adam Scott, Billy Horschel, Christian Bezadenhout, Justin Rose. Yeah.
Must have left the Bahamas and gone back to his house in London.
For the next little bit for the rest of Christmas, probably. Stenson Poulter, Westy, Bobby Mack. There's a lot. It's a pretty solid field.
Does Adam hang out in London a bit? Does he, Rocket?
He had so when he was on the European tour, he had a place in London, and I think he still has it.
Okay.
And where's his wife or their families from? Somewhere else in Europe.
No, I think she's in the Nordics. She's either Swedish or Dutch, I think.
Yeah. And so they spend a bit of the time there, you would think too, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
A few Swedes in the field: Soderberg, Kinalt, Bjork, Henrik. A few South Africans. Have you got a marker for us?
For Top Scott or for?
Yeah, let's go with Top Scott. I'm sure you've got that. You've got David Drysdale.
Got everything ready to go for you.
Grant Forrest. Who have we got?
We've got Bobby Mack, Callum Hill, Richie Ramsey, Grant Forrest, David Law, Scott Jameson, David Drysdale, Mark Warren, and Stephen Galcar.
Okay. I can't go away from, only because he's playing for a Ryder Cup spot, I have to go with Bobby Mack to find some form. He's been up there he was up there at Loch Lomond, probably one of Scotland's most private and prestigious golf courses on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond. He was up there playing during the week. I think he had some mates up there just for a casual round.
Was that this week?
Yeah.
Okay. I know he's been a slight little Twitter fiasco. I won't say that. There's a guy on Twitter called Ben Coley. He does a lot of golf tipping, very big on writing up for golf, but he's a deputy editor at Sporting Life, and he made a comment not long ago about watching an event where Bobby Mack was playing and said that Bobby Mack was, they really do talk him up a lot. He hasn't, wasn't sort of playing him down, but wasn't pumping him up too much. He's been copping a lot of flack today on Twitter from the Scottish people that he wasn't. I can see Ross's angry face right now just talking about it. That someone said someone wasn't calling him the new Messiah. But look, I'm not sure. I mean,
yeah, come on.
I'm not. I don't know.
Liverpool kiss.
That's it. I don't know. Even as Top Scott, I'm not sold. I know he's the best on that list by a ways, but I don't know. He hasn't played very well the last couple of weeks.
Okay, you think he's not carrying the form. So here's my heart and wave the Scottish flag. Well done to Scotland. I think they had a win last night in the European qualifiers.
Is that for darts?
Easy. Can you Google Scotland European World Cup qualifiers last night and just tell me
for darts
what the final score was? I saw the little
was that 3-2?
Okay, let's get back onto the serious thing. Callum Hill, no.
180.
Oh, you can have Bobby Mack. That's fine.
No, I'll have Bobby Mack.
Yeah, of course.
But let me go with a seconder.
Yep.
You could picture Bobby Mack with a beer in one hand, a ciggy hanging out the mouth, and throwing a dart, couldn't you?
Yes.
He wouldn't, not the ciggy.
Absolutely.
A pint and a dart, and maybe a nice Scottish pork pie. You ever had a Scottish pork pie?
No.
That's what the people down the back are having. We're smashing down with some pints.
Isn't that a hat?
Dart hanging out the mouth, dart in the hand, pint in the other.
that's where the pork pie hat is inspired, taken from. You know, the famous Scottish pork pie. You haven't lived until you've had a Scottish pork pie.
I'll have one next. I'll have one
when we go on
next year.
Tour de Force 2022.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll just stick with Bobby Mack. Enough of that.
Bobby Mack. And outrights, has anyone got anybody they like? No?
No.
Come on. There's people listening. There's people tuning in.
Because Adam Scott's playing, I'll go Adam Scott.
Done.
The greens probably won't be fast. And here's the thing: I'm not even going to put two sticks on him, and he's probably going to win, and I'm going to regret it.
You genuinely think Adam Scott can win?
No, I've got a feeling. So I've just jinxed it. I'm not going to bet. I've picked Adam Scott because I just whatever, and now the universe is going to be torture me.
Fair enough. That'll happen. The universe likes doing that.
I know. It's done it to me since like June.
Yeah. No, I'm the opposite this week. It's not Mad Monday. What is it now? It's the week off for having a look at golf markets. So I've gone the other way and found 4 or 5 different people at ridiculous odds and had $1 on each of them and gone that way. So the guys the main 3 that I had a look at was Minwoo, because we love Minwoo.
I don't. After the last 2 weeks, he's burnt me.
Sean Crocker and James Morrison are the other 2 that I like.
James Morrison's a player.
He's legit.
The doors guy.
No, that's Jim.
His full name on his license is James.
Is he going to break on through?
I hope so. He's 140 to 1, so it'd be great if he did. I'm just literally sprinkling a couple of people like that. John Catlin, Laurie Cantor.
If the weather turns, he's going to be a rider on the storm.
John Catlin, he's a player. He's won. American guy, won a couple of times. But James Morrison, I don't mind him. I think.
I agree. I think he's a
sprinkle on. Yep.
That's it, and it's literally $1 here, $1 there. That's it. It's crazy odds. It's one of those weeks where I could easily see Victor Hovland winning it by 6. I could also see the guys that have had a really big season coming there and saying, you know what, I've had a really big season. This is a great tournament. I'm going to enjoy it. And the guys that are hungry, that have been knocking on the door, like Morrison, could maybe jump up and get a win.
Backdoor man.
Hey, if you're double vaxxed.
Is that a door song?
I've just rattled off about 5.
If you are double vaxxed over there, you can go out and play over there in London. So
not in Melbourne.
That's the rules on tour. Double vaxxed, go out there and play. Just got to get tested and all that sort of stuff. So you can go out and do Hendy's. I think Hendy might be, he got his delivery of new shoes. I saw that. His FootJoy Premiers. So he was double vaxxed. I'm sure he'll go out and cover a couple of, he's one that maybe you could see with a dart and a schooner and a dart.
I saw, without getting too political, I saw Royal Melbourne's the first course in Australia to announce it's no jab, no play.
Really? Well, that you know what that means.
Everyone's going to do it.
Yeah, the Kings will be the second.
So it's. I agree. I think and they basically just said there's no excuses. Effectively, if there's a medical reason that you can't have it, we can have that discussion. But if you come to us and say I don't want a microchip, you're not playing.
Freedom of choice does not exclude you from freedom, or does not include freedom of consequences.
Yeah, and look, it's going to be the next 6 months for us is going to get on a heavy path of that. So when the cricket comes around or when other things come around, it's going to be, if you don't have it, you can't get involved. They'll link it to the QR codes. That's the way it'll be.
Yeah, I'll go get 2 more jabs on other people's behalf if it means I can play.
Yeah. I don't think we're alone. I think there'll be pretty much everyone listening to this is going to be in the same boat.
Mike, all I can say is, I can't wait for you to be playing golf, because you can come down and see me at Drummond Golf Melbourne in Franklin Street.
That's it. I've got some money to set fire to.
Your Minwoos on however many sets of Titleist pings, Callaway's, TaylorMades, whatever it is.
I need to
tour edges.
That's it. I need to do the research now and have a look and figure out. I bought it. I always think about golf clubs. It's one thing to hit a golf club and the feel and everything else. It's all good, but I look at it like when I bought a push bike a long time ago, a nice push bike. The guy that said to me, if this bike looks good and you like the look of it, you're going to ride it more. And it's a little bit like golf clubs. I can hit a golf club well, but if it's ugly, I'm not going to love it. I need them to look good as well. So I'm going to look at a lot of photos over the next month or so.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I'll say one thing, seeing these things a little bit in advance of, the normal consumer, seeing some of the photos, maybe not the photos in advance, but seeing them in my hands. Sometimes the photos, it's like everything. The photo makes it look different, look better, sometimes look worse. It looks either way. It can go either way. But, when you put it in your hand, feel the heft of it, look down at it, look at the top line. You like a satin finish, you like a chrome finish, you like it's really when you look down at that top line and is that thick enough for you, too thin? Is there enough offset? Not enough offset. And then obviously the next part is the hitting and the fitting part. They all feel pretty good these days, like even the cast clubs these days with the use of tungsten, the use of polymers, the sound deadening materials they can use when they put a badge in the back. I hit the new I-59s the other day. Beautiful.
Were they made on a Detroit highway?
No, they weren't made in. They were made in Phoenix. They were made at the end of the
today, aren't I?
They were made at the end of the Detroit highway in Phoenix, Arizona. Just for Phil Kethel up there in Sydney, shout out to you, Phil. Thanks for the picture of you wearing the Mile of Golf T-shirt, getting your COVID cut. First Mile of Golf T-shirt to be worn in a hair cutting environment. So well done to you. That's a new record. But I just thought I'd share that Scotland beat Austria in the the World Cup qualification. And little known fact is an Australian scored the only goal in the match for Scotland. Lyndon Dykes plays for Scotland. There you go, Gold Coast boy. Like me, parents of Scottish descent, and chose to go and play for Scotland. There you go. Good on you, Lyndon. Hey, Bowl. Well, that's an exciting way to finish the podcast, gents. I thought Brett brought the tone of it. That's for you, Phil. You're a soccer man. Guys, anything else from you? Final notes?
No, Scottish Senior Open for you, Ross. I'm disappointed that for you as well that you couldn't get on the flight to get over and play, but they are going to play.
I am qualified by age.
That's it.
Where's it playing?
I don't know. I'm not sure where it is this week. I just know that I saw the market and I just thought I better save that because Ross is going to ask me a question about it.
No, I didn't know it was on. Sorry, that's my bad. But that's your job to tell me what golf's playing. I just pressed the record button. That point of demarcation has been well defined a long time ago.
No, it's Chook Fells there, headlining. The couple of favourites are Paul Lawrie, James Kingston, Thomas LeVay are all up the top. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where it is. I'll look it up.
Oh, Royal Aberdeen. Whew.
There you go. So that'll definitely be, you have to think that'll be on TV at some point for you as well.
If Rocket, set your alarm clock for watching that because Royal Aberdeen is one of the links courses in Scotland. It is one of the good ones. I've not played there. I chose to go to the Solheim Cup in 2019 over playing in a open event at Royal Aberdeen. So I had one of those £50 opens. So over there, they have open tournaments all through the summer and some are £20, £50. If you go and play as a visitor, it'll cost you £300. They had this £50 open, which I put my entry in a long time ago. I relinquished that opportunity and went to the Solheim Cup instead. So I didn't play Royal Aberdeen Open. And there's another course next door, which is, it's not a Royal, but it's another links course on the same stretch of land called Murca Links, M-U-R-C-U-R, Murca, M-U-R-C-A-R, sorry. Check that out as well because can't wait to get back there and see that and play that. So Scottish Senior Open, who are we going with?
I'll say
Paul Lawrie.
There you go. Paul Lawrie, I'll say Peter Fowler.
Chook Fowler was at Craigielaw last time they played, my home course in Scotland, and Chook Fowler led up until the last day when Paul Lawrie beat him. There you go.
If it's a playoff, I'll be disappointed because I won't have $1 on it, I can guarantee.
Just put $1 on it, would you? For me, take it out of my my IOUs.
Done.
Rocket. Any special thank yous, Mike, to Ma Rocket? Thank you, Ma Rocket, for the biscuits.
The biscuits. I actually nearly asked the both of you after they landed. They landed on Saturday because we had the Saturday delivery, and I was just about to go for a very long walk, so I had one of each just to give me sustenance for the walk. And then obviously the football was on that night, and I was drinking quite heavily. I was nice enough to leave my wife one of each, and that was it. The rest got eaten that day. So
told you.
Oh, so she got a shortbread, and what else did you get?
Chocolate chip and macadamia.
Oh yeah, she does a very, very
very good.
How good? So her chocolate chip, how like soft is the dough though? It's just that perfect chewy.
Mate, I was like the Cookie Monster. They were going everywhere.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Oh, very good.
Thank you, Mark Rocket. We can talk about the PGA Tour's copying of my idea, the Drive to Survive concept. I think is a great idea. As you point out, they might not execute it as well, or hopefully they do execute it. But we can talk about that next time.
Maybe it's fatigue. You know, long year, PGA Tour. What a massive finish to the year. Maybe I'm fatigued. I'm waiting for the NFL season. I've got a little bit on my high horse about just how people should deal with stuff. Everyone, if you don't like what I said before, you can at me because I'm not on there, so I don't care. So if you want to know what it feels like to yell at yourself at a mirror, come at me. I don't know.
I'm gonna follow Rocket up because tomorrow's Are You Okay Day, I believe. So,
I'm okay.
I know you're okay.
I have my days. I do have my days.
And everyone is at the moment, mate. There's no doubt about that. But if you need, if anyone needs a chat or anything, don't send Rocket an Instagram or Twitter message because he doesn't read them.
You can if you want.
He just won't see it.
You can abuse me. You can do all sorts of stuff. If you need someone to take it out on, just send me something on Twitter or Instagram. Doesn't matter.
That's it. Send me a message as well. I don't care. I'll talk to anybody. We'll talk about whatever you like.
Okay. Well, very good. All I need to do for the Drive to Survive PGA Tour sequel is just edit together Bryson stuff. Put that out for you, Rocket. That'd be good.
Oh, I hadn't even
thought.
I hadn't even thought of.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Bryson episode.
I hadn't even. Do you know what? It's probably been good that I'm not watching it because his last couple of weeks he's not covered himself in glory. So I've left the young man alone. But just imagine doing that Drive to Survive and they're following Bryson. Like, I reckon he's already, like, working, like, use me, please. He's already positioning it.
Probably.
He's bought some new Jamie Oliver Tefal pots and pans to fry the bacon in.
But I don't know how it's going to work. Like, what players – there are some players that are just going to go, nah. Like, they're going to try and get top players. They're not going to get any. They're literally not.
It'll be interesting to see which angle they go. I mean, because you can go for the top guys, you can go for the guys that are coming up, but then you got to make sure you get the right person because if they do go up and they stutter and fall backwards, it's not going to be a great show.
Yeah, and the personalities as well. Are you going to get someone like Justin Rose who continually just does a word salad?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's a string at his back and you just pull it out and it's like the same blah, 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 blah. Or are you going to get someone like Kiz, Harold Varner? Get someone that actually wants to be real and that go follow them through the ups and downs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And who's not afraid to be vulnerable? I don't know.
Get that poor bloke that missed out on his PGA Tour card by playing in the US Open.
What, Will Zalatoris?
No, finished 26th in the Corn Ferry Tour finals on the weekend, and basically he elected to play at the US Open because he qualified for that, and I think he played all right at the US Open. But
see, again, like
came with no points.
I was in a good spot. I was, we're getting to the end of it, and you say something like that. So it's again the bloody Sith Lords again, just doing all sorts of stuff. Right? If you've qualified to play in the US Open, and you got they didn't even have a Corn Ferry event on that other day. Why don't those points count?
Finished 26th.
The Taylor Montgomery,
that's him.
I didn't realise that.
You might need to call me now, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to finish your order, Doubter. I just thought it was.
No, it's just piling on to the other rubbish the PGA Tour do for the year.
It was on the unwritten run sheet, so I had to cover it off because it was on the run sheet that doesn't get written. But
I
did watch a bit of the Corn Ferry stuff.
There's so many things they've got to fix just to make it better. It gets frustrating. Don't worry, season starts in another week. We're back into it again.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the week, gents. It's Are You OK Day. But if you are listening to this and it is Are You OK Day, if you are not okay, reach out to anyone close by. Reach out to us. And in my book, every day is Are You OK Day. So if you are feeling down at all at any stage, there's always someone to reach out to. The great work of people at Lifeline, who we support at Drummond Golf. They've never been busier, unfortunately, as sadly as it is, and don't want to end on a downer, but as sad as it is, they've never been busier. So every day is Are You OK Day. Reach out.
And the one other thing is, even if it's, so the other thing to go back that way is even just making a phone call to someone you might not have spoken to for a while, whether it be a friend or a family and stuff, So you may not be feeling great, but if you call them, just have a chat, you haven't spoken to them a while, and you chat for 45 minutes, guarantee that you'll actually feel really good because you've probably made their day. So it's not, so think about that. It's like sometimes we've got to give to the universe to be able to receive.
Very good, gents. Thanks for listening, everyone. Go over to the YouTube channel and check out a couple of videos. We've got the highlights of Mike and I's trip to Barnbougle there, 4 minutes of your time. And then you've got the interview with Dom as a party and me getting a chipping lesson, which is comedic value, if nothing else, with a PGA Tour coach. I got coached by a PGA Tour coach. That's unbelievable. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time on the My Love of Golf podcast.